Okay, guys, this is Becca, and I'm here with my co-host Slade.
Hello.
After a little bit of a hiatus, so last time we were with you, we detailed how Slade almost died.
Yes.
Oh
He is actually okay now,
Thank
and
God.
we are back on track. Okay, now doesn't mean we have our shit together because we had a couple movies planned out for this week, and they're not the movies we're gonna do. So I'll probably say it wrong, but I've been hanging out with a lot of Italians lately. Tony Masiello gave us a screener for Zombarella's House of Horrors, and that would be like horror with an WH. And it comes out Friday, and we were like, oh, cool. And he also gave us a screener for Metal Noir, which was something that Slade and I were both about ready to jump the gun and buy. So sorry, Tony, you lost yourself a few bucks there. But we were going to do the two together, but we wanted to get this out there really fast because this movie does come out on Friday. So we asked last minute, again, we asked Tony and Zombarella if they wanted to come on. They are both working. We also asked Tim Ritter and Shannon Stockin, Michelle McCobb. And you know what? Those two are here. So we have legendary SOV director
Yes.
Tim Ritter.
Yay.
Right? And Shannon Stockin.
Hi.
Yes,
Hello.
hi. And I am the only one in this call who's not in Kentucky, so it's really weird.
Yeah,
So
dirty Hoosier.
We got two out of four here. So this was a fun movie. I will just say to start out with, we are going to try to not give spoilers away, and in this format, spoilers will be more of like jokes. Okay, this movie does not have a plot per se. It is I guess a love letter to late night horror hosts, USA Up All Night.
Oh, that I got that totally. You get
All
like
that.
USA Up All Night, the 900.
Yes,
Oh,
I
God.
had a little bit of like flashback to my youth in some of these things, definitely. But so we'll just start with you, Tim, because I know that you and Tony you divvied up the different segments, correct? As far as directing and writing, correct?
Sort of, yeah. Actually, this was a project that Tony has been doing for quite some time. A lot of it is stuff that he shot 10, 12, maybe even 15 years ago. And it's just something he's been working on for a long time. He decided to put a lot of his shorts, fake commercials, fake trailers together in a movie. And it just so happened that he came up one short film shy, and he invited me to contribute to, his work that he'd been working on quite a long time. It's like a little anthology movie with, of course, the, Up All Night slant. And because he was short, I said, yeah, I'll join the party. And we came up with a little kind of an alien horror segment to add to it. And as we went along, I mean, he had enough time, but he wanted to get some more 90s type of stuff in the movie. And I had a lot of stuff from old footage and old trailers and old commercials from stuff that we've been doing probably going about 25 years back, and we just kind of tailored some of that and added some new things to it, put Shannon in a lot of the segments, and added what he wanted. And basically, it was like you said, it's kind of a little salute to Up All Night, Rhonda Shear, and all that kind of stuff. And there's 900 commercials, there's fake trailers, and the movie kind of follows, like you said, 7 hours of Up All Night, or however it ran, but it's kind of a condensed version. It's like 90, 100 minutes.
So, Shannon, you're in quite a few of these segments. Were you in some of the segments that Tony did as well?
No, I was only in the Alien, the Cosmic Desires that Tim and I did, and then I did one of the trailers, a little Gator trailer.
Yes.
And then I did
Oh, I want that movie.
with my Sonic hair. Yeah, that was great. And then one of the data mates, I was Darlene.
Darlene, that's right. And actually, I think you were my favorite. So let's see. I've got them all written down. This was the hardest movie I've ever done to take notes for a podcast because I had to pause it so many times because there's so many little fast things or whatever. It's okay because I'm a Christian.
yes.
I know you see my boobs and all, but it's okay because I'm a Christian.
Don't bother calling me unless you got 500. If you got anything less than $500 in your bank account.
Oh, I love those. not the 900 calls, but like, what were those anyway? It was like a phone call dating thing where they'd have like commercials. This was a real thing. They'd have commercials and people would be profiled, and like it'd have a little reference number at the bottom. Like, if you're interested in this person, call this number, blah, blah, blah. Which I thought was really weird because it's like they'd have like 4 people on like a nationally broadcast show. Like, how many people would be interested in them? You know, like, woo, my phone calls flooded. It was called Datamate. It's essentially now called Tinder. But the phone number on one of the splash screens said 1-900-DATE with an E, mate. And then on the next screen, all of them would say date, D-A-T-A, mate.
Oh, wow. Well, they changed the number. Those companies, you know how it is. LLCs trying to bounce around and hide all the money or something.
Right, and as soon as a few parents complained when they got their phone bills, you know, they had to bounce around.
Right.
Yeah, those were a staple of the USA Up All Night.
Oh, yeah.
Just
and
Miss Chloe.
Chloe, but it was Miss Cleo. Miss Cleo was ours, right? Call me now.
Mm-hmm.
I could see in my crystal ball. Yes. So if anybody watches this and thinks it's just really outlandish, it's not as outlandish as you would think. It really wasn't.
No, it's kind of based on, you know, those weird ads and kind of diving into, you know, you would dive into that. Like, what was it, like a Saturday nights? Or I think it was Saturday nights when they run the weirdest, you know, Ellen Ray movies and just, you know, all kinds of, you know, stuff. Roger Corman flicks. I mean, it was, you know.
Saw a lot of good stuff for the first time there.
Yeah.
And Joe Bob.
Joe Bob?
Right, like Vice Squad. I remember that came on there. And, I mean, just all kinds of weird stuff you might not have, you know, ordinarily watched. And then you go rent the movie after you know, saw it on there.
Right, because you knew you didn't get to see all the good stuff.
Right.
So another thing that was kind of in here that I thought was really cool, which I'm assuming probably Tony was the one who came up with these, but they are very realistic, are the drug commercials.
Yes, he did those. Yeah.
Those weren't even tongue in cheek. Those were exactly like those commercials were. Like, the chick is like she was shooting up or like smoking, and you hear the baby crying, and at the end it's like crack is whack. I mean, it wasn't even laughable because it's like, dude, that's what they used to try to scare us with.
Well, Tim, did you meet Tony around High 8?
Yes, yeah. He's got a SOV Facebook page, and I got on there and I was just interacting with him and a bunch of other fans of old shot on video stuff, and that's where we all met and kind of started. You know, we were joking. I think at the time VHS, you know, the anthology movie was pretty big. And a long story short, I started joking. I said we should do a pint-sized VHS and call it High 8 because it's a smaller, you know, medium. And then Tony jumped in, and Brad Sykes from, you know, was one of the producers, and he jumped in. And then we pulled together a bunch of filmmakers and actually went out and, you know, did this little anthology movie with everybody. So.
Right. And that's how I got Tony's attention, because I said something. He had posted something about his segment, and I said, well, you were in good company there. And then that's when he sent me the screener for this.
Right. Well, wow. It's a good opportunity, right?
So all the awesome people. So I will say, first of all, thank you to you guys. But also to anybody who watches stuff. And granted, this is a niche genre, obviously, and we are a niche audience. But the people who love this stuff love it. I mean, once we said we were going to do this, and I just put out a short little promo, like a 30-second, look like a blue VHS screen. I had independent film directors, I had podcasters, I had, like, old school SOV directors, everybody, like, hitting me up, like, oh, I want to be part of this. Like, it was so funny how many people came out of the woodwork of, like, that SOV love, you know? And so, I mean, not saying that you guys are just out there, like, whoring yourselves out, don't get me wrong, but, like, you guys are so approachable, and we found that with so many of these directors, and now that Slade's not dying, we'll have many, many more of these SOV people on the show.
Yeah,
yes,
cool.
But I mean...
I was attacked by ticks.
Yes.
I got attacked a couple weeks ago. I've been waiting for something to happen.
I hit the lottery on two ticks.
Hoping I don't get anything. I'm waiting to start foaming at the mouth and going into paralysis. And well, I'm glad you're better though, definitely.
Yeah. If you start feeling weird at all, send him a DM and he can tell you all the symptoms.
Yes. Get your ass to the doctor quickly.
And initially, I hit you up, Tim, because we were like, oh, we got to do some Tim Ritter stuff. And then, of course, I had all these people coming out of the woodwork. Oh, so Bill Casanelli, of course, is like...
Oh, yeah, I know Bill.
Bill's like, I know Tim Ritter. I'm like, whatever. And I got Jason Crow. He's like, I could get Tim Ritter on your show. I'm like, you know what, motherfuckers? I can get Tim Ritter on my show because he's that cool.
Yes, everybody can get me. I need to get an agent, right?
I know. You do.
Even Elijah Wood, his favorite movie.
That's right. Truth or Dare.
Did that do anything for you?
As far as
I mean, did you start getting people like coming out of the woodwork, like trying to hit you up, people talking about the movie when nobody had been talking about it forever or anything? Or is that just something that we, like, nerdy horror people, we all honed in on? We're like, oh, hey!
That was just something kind of cool, and he's been taking Truth or Dare Critical Madness around to different film festivals and showing it with a live commentary, his own commentary, and as he watches it, he tells how he discovered it and how it, helped him love horror movies. So, it's kind of an honor that somehow that movie got him. Everybody has a favorite movie when they were growing up or whatever that kind of drew them into the genre, and that's his great whale there, I guess, like for Moby Dick, because he's like, this was it. Or The Shark Claws is probably a better analogy.
Do you two have a movie like that brought you into the genre?
Shannon, what about you?
Me? No. No.
The honesty.
No. Are you talking about a movie of Tim's or just like in general?
Just in general that just made you love horror. I can see behind you. You got some Friday the 13th stuff.
Dad was a special effects artist, so I grew around it, seeing all that stuff. Did a lot of like haunts and haunted houses. He was a prop so I always got to be his victim in the haunt. So I think I was the only kid that I've ever known in middle school who had a fully functional guillotine in their bedroom, coffin, and just all of these crazy wild props that he would make, and just, hey, we don't have room in the shed, so I'm going to put it in your room, okay? So, that's where my love of horror came from, just from him and being around it and everything. So,
what about you, Tim? Since you are the one who has movies that we all talk about that influenced us as children, what about you? Not to make you feel old, I'm sorry.
No, probably Jaws, The Incredible Melting Man, and definitely Halloween, John Carpenter's original Halloween.
Yeah.
Those really got me into the, when I figured out that I didn't have to imitate Star Wars movies, Super 8 camera. It was a lot easier to get a rubber knife and an attractive actress and stalk up the stairs with a point of view shot, so that's kind of what started it all and led into Day of the Reaper, the first Super 8 feature-length movie I attempted to make. So.
Yeah, and you made Truth or Dare when you were 19, 20?
I actually wrote it when I was 17, and we filmed it when I was probably 18, so 17 or 18.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy to think about. And I can't imagine what it was like to take and see it up on the shelf.
It's cool. It was unbelievable that it happened that fast, back, because that thing sold like 30,000 copies within the first, year, and it was everywhere for a while there. So it was really cool to, it was amazing because it was like this is the opportunity of a lifetime to get your movie seen, like the drive-ins, because the drive-ins were going out and video was coming in. Now we have kind of a mixture of everything. There's still drive-ins, there's still radio, there's still video,
streaming.
Streaming's kind of taken everything over, but there's still the diehard fans like us love physical media, posters, VHS sometimes. It's pretty wild. So.
And I will say that cover is one of the few, like, SOV covers that, like, people who didn't actually watch it still would be like, oh, yeah, I remember seeing that at the video store. Like, there are very few of those that people really remember. Like, maybe Redneck Zombies or something, you know, like, that people who aren't fans are like, oh, yeah, I saw that, or I saw it at the video store at least.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
So, okay, so as far as this movie goes, did you have anything to do with getting Zombarella in? Or was that totally a Tony thing? Did you get to work with her at all?
No, that's they've been working together quite a while, and they I think they do all kinds of streaming shows on his channel, and he's been doing that, you know, with her for quite some time. So that this was, you know, their chance to work together. And in a feature anthology, because the anthologies are really popular, you know, as you both know. For the last, like 5-10 years, they kind of had a resurgence. So,
well, but let's also face it too. We all have kind of a limited attention span now,
right?
So anthologies and this type of thing, you know, like recently something that came out that I really liked was like Skeletons in the Closet that did a similar kind of thing, not quite as crazy as this, but it's like it's good because it's like you get past a segment and you can hit pause and go, you know, look at your Facebook or go to the bathroom or whatever. And in this day and age, it really is kind of helpful to have something that you can pause frequently and not miss anything.
Yeah, you got horror is a really good genre to where you can tell a story in like 15-20 minutes, and you know you don't have to drag it out for 2 hours.
Right.
Well, unless you go see It Chapter 2, right? Isn't that like?
So
falling asleep, just butt going to sleep.
Oh yeah. Well, okay, you got to go to one with recliners. I don't know if you got them down there in Kentucky, but
no, I don't, and I hate it.
Feel them when they put them out.
I said whoever put recliners in a bar in movie theaters is an absolute genius. But there we go. Yeah. So, okay, so your short movie, so there's one movie within this called Tales from the Mausoleum, and then your short within that anthology. So basically we're watching an anthology movie, and there's an anthology movie in the movie, and Cosmic Desires is yours. So this one's a little freaky. I will say the very first thing I have written down is alien dick ? Alarm?
I died when it slapped. I died laughing. That was so good.
I don't know. That was some kind of stock footage that came from outer space, I think.
What is the deal with Crocagator?
What's the deal with Crocagator?
What is the deal? Well, basically, the idea was to, make crazy titles, and like you were talking about the hookers, 1, 2, 3, 4, space hookers, space vampire hookers. But in the end, when I was playing with some old footage, that actually is like B takes from Endangered Species, a movie I made with Kevin Linden in 1996 or something. And I was looking at some of the raw footage, and I said, if I edit this right and put a couple of other little things in, we can make a whole new trailer about a gigantic alligator attacking a community, and Shannon can play this Quint type captain that's going after the alligator. It just kind of all fell together, and it looked like something Roger Corman would make.
Shannon, are you really a former Green Beret?
This Chupacabra is a former Green Beret, the only one that can wipe out the Crocagator.
with your ship, what is your boat's name? Bruce 2 or something?
Bruce 2.
Yes.
I was like, wow, this could be good though. There's so many weird movies with Croca, whatever, Croca, Snake-a-gator. Sharks, Sharknado, Hurra Shark.
There's a little bit of everything.
Shark King. We need to make that now.
And you did the special effects on Cosmic Desires, didn't you, Shannon?
Yeah, I did.
She's got a kind of a dickheadish husband. It did not get past me that there is a Creep poster on the wall, by the way. Did you do the trailer for Creep 2?
We have a little mock trailer, I think, that Tim and I did for Creep 2. I don't know if is it in there?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Welcome to Florida, motherfucker. Yeah, I love
Yep. Right. And we don't just stand our ground. We
put them in the ground.
put them in the ground. Right.
Classic Dirty Harry inspired lines. They just don't do that anymore. Like Cobra, Sudden Impact, Magnum Force. You know, I mean, there needs to be more of those.
Being a divorced person, that fight between you and your husband, the conversation like really hit home. I was like, oh geez, somebody here has had some bad relationships.
But that's one of the good things with working with Tim is, you know, we have a script, but a lot of times if you're, you know, going from personal experience or something, sometimes it sounds better, you know, and a lot of it was me just, you know, so it ended up okay.
Not pee all over the floor and pee in the toilets. Like, yeah. Again, you know, just hit home, right? Hit home.
Right.
But, so
Yeah.
how did she summon the aliens? I mean, like, what was even her reasoning for summoning the aliens?
Well, from what I understand, I want to be this mother to this new alien race, or what, the mother queen alien or something like that. So just feels like it's like this alien fetish. You know, her man's not doing what she wants him to do, and she's, you know, one of those things. You know, that's the only thing I can think that would.
Doesn't everybody want to be somebody bigger and like somebody more important? And that would be if you were the mother of the alien race, I guess.
I mean, did you see that alien phallus? I mean, that thing was huge. I mean, who wouldn't? You know,
it's a little creepy, but yeah.
Certainly beats Mr. Vienna sausage at home, right?
That's right. Well, at least you had that dildo to keep you company before you used it to kill him.
When Tim ordered that, he told me he ordered it, and I was like, oh my God. And he goes, I think you're going to kill Steve with it. And I'm like, how am I going to kill him? Like, first off, I'm thinking, I have seen Tim Ritter movies. How am I going to kill him with this 15-inch double dildo? I was freaking out for a minute. But then when he said something about choking him, I was like,
okay. Choking's all right.
Yeah.
I think I've seen those dildos online. I think they're usually called like the alien or something of that nature.
And Steve did a really good job at letting me kill him and strangle him with that. So that was really good. It was awesome.
And then I'm assuming where your effects mostly came in is when you were stuffing him down the disposal.
Yeah. It was very minimal effects. It wasn't too much on this one. We've done a lot more on some of the other films that we're working on, but this one was just for fun and just kind of, you know, throwing this silly, crazy stuff out there and seeing what we could come up with.
All just for fun, really, when it comes down to
it?
Yeah,
they are. But when you get into the effects part of it, it's a little more stressful because I usually do the effects and I'm also acting in the movie. So it's like double duty for me. So it gets a little more stressful, but it's still fun. You know, I love it or I wouldn't be doing it, you know?
Right.
So
I saw, I think on Instagram or Facebook that you guys are working on something now that's a little not seasonal to the, September, correct?
Yeah. Right.
You want to talk about that?
Santa. Yeah, there's, it's a movie called, it's with Wave Video and Richard Mogg. Richard Mogg wrote the book on analog nightmares.
We like to call that the Bible. We both have a copy, and we reference it often.
Wow, that's yes. So he's writing a new seasonal book on exploitation Santa movies, and he also got Gary Whitson from Wave. He's financing a new movie called Gift Wrapped and Gutted, a feature which is going to accompany his book. And we're doing, like, you know how Scream has an opening sequence where somebody's watching, you know, a movie and suddenly it goes into another movie or the character turns off the TV or whatever. So we're doing like a 7-minute intro where it's a different movie and it's basically kind of a little spoof on stuff like Black Christmas, Silent Night, Deadly Night, and I've always wanted to make a killer slasher movie. And again, my own attention span is very short anymore, and I have limited time, so it was like really cool just to jump in and do a crazy Santa slasher movie. And instead of using an axe, I was like, well, what if he went after the girl with the spatula? So it was just really off the wall stuff. I think fans are going to really like this. It's really weird. So
the spatula,
weird is
that's
good.
Right.
Yeah. I think
UHF.
Yeah, he even says, I'm going to squish you like a pancake, and he's got the spatula. So, I mean, it's funny.
The whole thing is hilarious. I mean, it's just great. Oh my gosh.
But see, that is fun. Those kinds of things, it cracks me up just hearing about them, and like just the little segment, and the cosmic desires and stuff and Creep too, that you didn't even know made it into the movie.
Yeah, it's like, well, that was actually a trailer that was made to try to get financing for part 2 back in 1996. We just threw it together, and then we added more to it, of course, with Shannon. And when Tony was looking for that vibe, that 90s vibe, I mean, there's a movie that was made in 1996, and it's like,
we got some stock shit here. Just come to my basement.
Yeah.
Take what you want.
There's all this weird stuff.
So one thing that, like, when we watched it, and you watch a movie like this, where it has, like, it's clearly trying to harken back to the shot-on-video era, but it's made in modern times, you have to wonder how much is actually still being shot on film and how much is just trying to nail that look. And that's the first thing that Slade said, was like, I mean, they really nailed it. And I'm guessing it was, what we're hearing is it's basically a combination of the two, correct?
Right.
So some of the stuff is really vintage. It just wasn't really.
Yeah. We shot standard definition video and tape, and all Tony's stuff is on tape, and we use tape for most of it. And you can't really fake that look. I mean, people try, they add stuff in with the the edit programs and everything, but this is 4x3.
Yes.
It's supposed to 16x9, so
I wanted to say something about that, and I totally forgot because it's on my first page, but I love that it's all 4x3. I love that.
If you got a big screen, you're like looking at it in the middle.
Just teeny tiny.
Almost square, baby. Almost square.
Like, go square. Go back in time when TV was real.
Yeah, I love it. You did the 1-900, the schoolgirl one, right?
Oh
Yeah.
I can't remember what all I did.
Is it like 1-900 cream? Or
yes, get cream. Yes, but I have to say though, of all of them, the schoolgirl one, where you're like, you've got like a set, and you're like, I'm not learning about sex education at school. And it's like 1-900 teach me. Well, all the other ones are $5 a minute. And it's just like black, blank background, and a girl wearing panties and going, oh yeah, hey, call me. You actually, like, yours was awesome, and it was only $3.99 a minute.
It's a bargain.
You were selling yourself short, lady.
Like in math. I don't know.
Or you were just a smart businesswoman and knew that you would get more calls.
Right, it was. Quantity was quality.
What about the so the 1-900 calls, when it started really cracking me up is when they got the fat guy.
Oh yeah, that was, I think that's a friend of Tony's, right? Tony did that one, I think.
He's got like some weird hairpiece thing on, and it's like 1-900-555 beef.
That was funny.
Oh, and I love how most of them are the same girl, by the way, like just in a different costume.
Yeah, that's why we added some more, but he kept all the ones in there because those were things he's done just for fun over the years, and he wanted to put everything.
But that's something that would happen though. Like, I mean, you would see like 10 commercials, and you'd be like, I think I know her. I think she was on at 11 o'clock hour.
think she had a blue wig on before, but now it might be her twin sister. I don't know. Tony's releasing it through his own company on his website. I think it's shotonvideo.com or SOV.com.
SOVhorror.com.
Zombarella, she's awesome if you love shot on video things and you love sassy goth girls with boobs. That could be one of the trailers. Sassy goth girls with boobs.
Go.
Oh, by the way, yes, I loved tits. Brought to you by the same people. Ass. Totally Kentucky Fried Movie. I just loved that. Loved it. Look, see, I can be Kentucky too.
That's right. You need to come down here. You need to take a cameo in one of our, because the Alien movie is actually, we're doing a feature version. We're going to use that short and another short that came out in Earth Girls Are Sleazy. We're going to do another one and kind of put it all together into one big 80-minute epic that's kind of like, so you can get attacked by an alien bug.
I want to get attacked by that alien penis.
It's still out there. It's still out there. We cannot contain it.
It's waiting for you, Rebecca. You can smack me on the ass. I don't care.
You got to get out the Ouija board.
Independent. All money.
But no, that would be hilariously fun, and I'll cut this out if you guys like totally veto me, but you guys are supposed to come down and party with us next May in Cave City at Obscuricon. Right. So the last weekend in May, so Jason Crow and I are putting together. It's really going to be more of like pop culture, so we can kind of be all inclusive. We got wrestling, we got horror, we've got other stuff that we're working on. We've got cool roadside attractions, and we're working with all of the cool things that are in Cave City so that everybody can kind of do some more than just the cons. So you guys will have to come and party with us, and we'll find you a room.
Right, and we got the alien bug. We're gonna unleash that.
You could, and you know what? You could sleep in a wigwam if you wanted to. There are some really cool things there. So speaking of like, you know, nostalgia and niche kind of stuff, man, there's some really cool ass little things. If you were a child of the 70s or 80s, Cave City's the place to be.
Oh wow! Cool.
We're gonna make Cave City the place to be.
Thank you guys so much for taking and stopping by, especially at late notice.
We'll do it again.